This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Hey, it's loud. I'm going to turn that down. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the After Party Live on a Waterfall Wednesday. So glad you could make it. So glad I could make it. Moments before air. At the end of the Mark Thompson show, toward the beginning of this show, my husband brought me a towering plate of nachos. Why? When I have a show to do? I don't know, but they were warm and gooey and delicious, and I devoured this plate of nachos. So I have a request. Hopefully you guys can help me remember something. My daughter's grounded, which means she's spending a lot of time with me, and we're watching old rom-com movies, and I'm trying to remember which ones are the best. Last night we watched While You Were Sleeping with Sandra Bullock and Bill Pullman and Peter Gallagher. And I think Serendipity might be another one we're going to try to watch. But if you have any old rom-coms that stand out to you as being like ones she should see, I'm trying to complete her romantic comedy education. Make sure she's seen all the good ones. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. Oh man, now I want nachos. I'm telling you, unexpected. And also, as I'm shoving them in, I'm like, I've got to start the show. But if I don't eat them, they're going to get cold. But right now, they're warm and gooey and delicious. What's a girl to do? Nachos. When Harry Met Sally. Oh, that's a good one. Thank you. Yes. Romancing the Stone. Isn't that Indiana Jones movie? Okay. Sleepless in Seattle. Good one. Okay. Perfect. Princess Bride. She has seen that one. Annie Hall. Gosh, I don't think even I've seen that one. Good. Watch a Sandra Bullock. Heat. It's a comedy movie. Okay. The Wedding Singer. I don't know if she's seen that. Good idea. Wedding Singer. One Fine Day. All right. I knew I could count on you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the help. I was trying to rack my brain thinking what movies, in the past were so good that I want to make sure that she sees them before we lose this time together. I'm telling you, this whole grounding thing, she wants to hang out with me. She doesn't usually want to hang out with me, so I'm taking advantage of it. Thank you for supporting the show. Wes throwing in $20 today. Wow, really appreciate that contribution. Thank you. Karen Cooper throwing in some money as well with her recurring monthly payment. Thank you so much. Delette throwing in some money. Martha D, Carrie Q, you guys, thank you so much. So appreciated to keep this show going. It's funny, Mark was talking on his show about having a housekeeper, and I saw Rhonda ask, well, if you have a housekeeper, then why are we supporting the show? And the answer, I thought, and he didn't really answer the question, but I was thinking to myself, because this is our job. This is our job. We could either do it or not do it and go get a different job, but we like to do this job. So why contribute to the show? Because you help keep the show going. You allow us to keep doing what we're doing. And so you might think because he has a housekeeper, well, he doesn't need the money, right? But how does he fund this woman's employment? How do we go on doing things in our life? And also he has KFI and other things he's doing. And keep the show going and pay all the costs for the show without crowdfunding the show and doing it this way. It sucks and I hate it, but that's the way it is. And so for the folks that have contributed, just huge, huge thank you. I just can't even tell you how much I appreciate that, really. You mean she's not mad at you hiding in her room? Oh, she knew, Vanessa Pacheco, that she was due to be punished and probably should have been for telling this whopper of a lie, more punished than she's being. As a matter of fact, I took away her phone for 2 weeks as well. Gotta make sure they know it's not cool. Vanessa says, when I was still working, I had someone come in once a month to do the big housekeeping. Yeah, I wish I had a housekeeper as well. Very, very helpful. I'm telling you, to not have to, get down on the floor and clean up everything sometimes. What professional has time to clean the house? Well, he's running from job to job to job. He also does a lot of voiceover work as well, so he's a busy guy. Okay, let's move into some of the stories that we have to talk about. It was, I mean, in the scheme of things, not so serious. As a friend mentioned to me, it was an academic lie, but it could have been a lie about sex or drugs, and that would have been much worse. So in the scheme of things, this isn't that bad. But it's a lie is a lie, and so yeah. Okay, we'll move in to the stories that I have prepared for you today because I just saw this little guy. He's in my town. He's up in Petaluma. We have these outlet malls. This outlet mall, it's an outlet mall. And it's an outdoor outlet mall, and it's not close to the river, I would say, but it is in the floodplain, so it's not far from the river, kind of right off of the highway, of Highway 101. Um, but somehow this creature, this beautiful little wayward sea lion, jumped a fence and made it into the parking lot of the Petaluma Village Outlet Mall. The Petaluma Village Premium Outlet is what it's called. The marketing director for the outlet mall saw a text come through from one of her coworkers, which read, "We had a visitor this morning." And then she saw this picture of a sea lion with its head, you can see here, kind of cocked to the side, right in the middle of the parking lot. And this is not an area where you would expect to see a sea lion at all. She said that locals have taken to calling the we don't know if it's a boy or girl sea lion, so the people are calling her Stevie, then they were calling her Mallory. This animal apparently has been kind of a celebrity since first being spotted on the floating dock near the turning basin of the Petaluma River. And there is a creek right next to the outlet mall. So apparently, Stevie or Mallory, whichever you prefer, jumped the fence and then just hung out by Old Navy for a while, sunbathed out in the parking lot. The Bay Area Animal Services were called. They guided this animal into a trailer using herding boards. Mall security was there. And then they took her down to the Marine Mammal Care Center in Sausalito. So that's where she is and where she should be. So she's been kind of rolling around Petaluma for a while, apparently, and I didn't know it. She first came to the attention of the Marine Mammal Center when she hopped out of the river where she'd likely been swimming looking for food and surprised people near Steamer Landing Park. And they tried to rescue her on June 25th, but it looked like she was stressed out and they didn't want to stress her out anymore. And that's apparently the day that she went out to the mall and this whole thing snowballed. They did decide to rescue her from the mall parking lot because they said she could have been hurt by a car or hit or, there's people in the parking lot. Like it was too close and too dangerous. So they do say that she is a little bit below average body weight, but that she's really active and reactive to people being around. And so they're trying to figure out if she's sick or what's going on with her, why she was in the Petaluma River. Does she have domoic acid poisoning? Is she not thinking clearly? Yeah, they don't know. So they're going to try to do some testing on her and figure it out. But she is now safely in the care of the Marine Mammal Center in Sausalito. They say she has a very healthy appetite, so they're very encouraged by her. Yeah. There she is, Stevie or Mallory, whatever you want to call her. This is a crazy picture. Look at this. This stingray hops straight out of the water to get away from a shark that was pursuing it. This was in Australia, where a man fishing off the coast of Queensland caught this picture of this ray leaping straight out of the water, briefly taking flight to get away from a hammerhead shark. This was a high-speed shark pursuit of this ray. And this man, his name is Brody, he said he was off the coast of Cape York when he started filming the pursuit. And then managed to get the very moment this ray jumped out of the water, and it was flapping its fins like wings, trying to get away from the shark. He says he's seen this kind of behavior before many times, just not that close to his boat. They think this ray was likely a cow nose or a mobula ray, not a stingray. But it's breaking the line of vision that the hammerhead has on it, according to experts. Just by quickly exiting the water, it can break that focus that the shark has, and you can tell the predator loses it shortly after because of it. And the fisherman says, yep, that ray did successfully avoid becoming dinner for this shark. The ray escaped under his boat, and that's that. So look at that. What a shot. Love that. There's a bull that was on the loose. They call him Sauce the Boss. Sauce the Boss is a rodeo bull. He's the latest to become an animal escape artist. He's also known as, in addition to Sauce the Boss, as Twinkle Toes. And he eluded capture for days in Colorado. He got out through a gap in a fence. The rodeo bull was being unloaded in preparation for the Snowmass Village, Colorado rodeo on July 2nd, when somehow he got away. And the officials think that he found and forced his way through a gap in fencing that was being used during the unloading. So they spent hours looking for Twinkle Toes, or Sauce the Boss, but he eluded them by heading into tall brush and trees in this neighborhood near where the rodeo is to be held. And so he wouldn't let anyone get near him. I can kind of root for his freedom in this case. The bull was in and out of the brush. Some homeowners nearby said they saw him pop out and pop back in several times over the days. But then when it started raining heavily, he managed to slip away, finally making himself visible for a longer period than had been usual. And then he let the cowboys working for a ranch owner approach him. And that's when he was finally caught, rounded up, and taken back. Sauce the Boss, Twinkle Toes, sadly back on the rodeo circuit. So that's the way that goes. The blueberry spill. It's the traffic reporter, the old traffic reporter in me. I just can't help it. Traffic jam caused by a blueberry spill. This happened in British Columbia. The police there say it was a literal traffic jam when a pickup truck lost its load of freshly picked blueberries. The vehicle, apparently, that lost the blueberries stopped at an intersection, and then when it started moving again, several crates of freshly picked blueberries fell right into the roadway. The crates came crashing down onto the pavement. Thousands of blueberries spilled out onto the highway, creating a sticky, jammy mess for the vehicles that then came after it to drive over. The officers say they were called out to this juicy incident. They had to use a shovel to push all the blueberries out of the roadway. Of course, the jokes come in, right? They say they'd like to feature some new offerings at the blueberry market, such as jackknife jelly, pothole preserves, and traffic jam. No, we're not using that to make the jam. I don't know why anybody would do this, but do it they did. I just think of this man's mom. Is she supportive, or is she like, why are you doing this? This guy has set a world record. He rode his motorcycle 1,450 feet while he was on fire. Great. Congratulations. This is a French daredevil. He lit himself and his motorcycle, or lit himself on fire and rode his motorcycle to break this Guinness World Record. His name is Jonathan Vero. He's 41. He is a professional firefighter. He's an amateur stuntman. And he did indeed break the record for the farthest distance full body burn while riding this motorcycle. It's not his only record either. He has the record for the fastest full body burn, 100-meter sprint without oxygen. He did that in 17 seconds. He also has the record for the longest distance full body burn run without oxygen. He ran for 893 feet and 2.5 inches while on fire. He said, during the other two records, I was burned in several places on my body and I felt unwell. Well, by all means, then set yourself on fire again. He said, it took me over a week to recover physically from those performances, but I was proud to enter the record book that I read as a child. To achieve this latest feat, he rode his Yamaha Dragstar 1100 in France. He had to modify the bike to make it fireproof. And then he said he practiced riding on fire over several distances in several types of weather. Luckily, he said the weather was great on the day of the performance and the track was perfect. So he just reproduced what he did in training, trying to cover as much distance as possible whilst staying on fire. Success unlocked. He rides 1,450 feet on fire. Congratulations. I hope you recover from your burns. This is an interesting story about robotic surgery. They hit a milestone. You know, they've done robotic surgery before, but this is kind of a bigger one. They removed somebody's gallbladder completely using the robots. It's an effort to train robots to perform certain kinds of surgical procedures without human help. And that's what reached a critical milestone with the successful removal of a gallbladder it was a pig cadaver. It wasn't a human. They're still testing it out, but it was a success. Without human help, the robot successfully completed a gallbladder removal surgery of a pig cadaver. The work was done by the experts at Johns Hopkins and Stanford universities. They say they have significantly pushed the envelope on what's possible for robots to do in the operating room without any human doctors at the controls. They used artificial intelligence to teach the robot how to overcome unexpected obstacles during surgical procedures. And they published a study on it Wednesday in the journal Science Robotics, describing how, by using this newly developed AI platform called Surgical Robot Transformer Hierarchy, SRT-H, the scientists were able to instruct robotic arms to perform the gallbladder surgery with 100% accuracy, all completely autonomously, no human help at all. They say it's the latest advancement in computer vision. This is the field of AI that enables robots to see and interpret images and videos like people do, right? The system was shown videos of human surgeons doing the same procedure on pigs and reinforced with natural language captions describing the tasks. This system, by the way, can also respond to human voice commands during procedures if that's needed. What was significant about this, though, this procedure, is that the system, SRT-H, showed an ability to self-correct when scientists threw in curveballs. They added blood dyes that changed the appearance of the gallbladder and surrounding tissues. And even when they did that, the robot surgeon was able to precisely perform tasks like strategically placing clips and severing parts with scissors. It moves this AI robotic surgery field closer to the goal of making AI-powered robots reliable enough for surgical autonomy, and especially in cases of routine procedures like gallbladder removals, right? Hundreds of those are done, hundreds of thousands every year. It's interesting. I don't know if okay, so do you think if you were given a choice, you had to have your gallbladder out, and you had a choice of a human surgeon, human error is possible, or a robotic surgeon, which is more precise, but maybe not as flexible in the case of other things. I know that it was able to do that in this case, that was able to move around to change in color of blood or whatever. But to be able to pivot like a human can in unforeseen circumstances, I think I'm going with the human doctor, despite the possibility of human error. The system, and what do you think? I'll go to the chat in a second. The system was built using the same machine learning architecture that powers Chat GPT, which means the robot is interactive as well. It can respond to commands like grab the gallbladder head or corrections like move the left arm a bit to the left, and then actually learn from this feedback during the procedure. During the procedure, they are training the robot by watching videos of surgeries similar to how medical students learn as well. And apparently this has been good enough to allow this robot to do its surgery without being I guess the word they use is unflappably, without being stressed out, freaked out. Yeah, I don't know. They say it highlights the art of the possible with AI and surgical robots. Which doctor do you pick? The human doctor or the AI robot doctor? Go into the chat. Only, says Calvin, if I'm patient 1000. You got to prove it first. Rev P says, there have been some notable accidents with Da Vinci by Intuitive Surgical years ago. Heather says, I wouldn't want it to be done without human oversight and ability to respond, not just medical emergencies, but equipment malfunction as well. Karen says, the robots are monitored, I would bet. Wes would go with the robotic surgeon, which I'm sure would be supervised by a human. So, to me, there's a difference between a human at the controls, but using robotic tools in the operating room versus this robot just doesn't need a human at all to do it. So what I'm hearing from most of you is that you would do the robotic as long as there was a human overseeing it all. But what they're saying is there doesn't need to be. That this robotic surgeon has learned enough to be able to be unflappable and do this on its own, right? Now, if robots could just replace lawyers, nobody can replace David Katz. Are you kidding? Come on. Heather says, my previous job was in preclinical development of a robotic surgery platform. Ironically, I'm interviewing there again. Yay! Maybe you'll be able to bring us a real expert. Yvonne says, robots are here to stay. House cleaners, watch out. Jim says, regarding AI, I read an article on that the new Grok AI developed by Musk praises Hitler. I saw that too. And did you hear that this CEO of X, formerly Twitter, is stepping down after that whole snafu? What a mess. Yeah, I don't know. Rhonda says she thinks it's too early for AI. It has to evolve some before she's comfortable. Heather's even assisted in the OR, observing robotic-assisted surgeries. It can be extremely complicated. Lots of stuff can go wrong. You can't predict everything, and you do need that oversight. That's what I would think as well. Phineas says it looks like Edward Scissorhands. That's okay. We got the gist of it, Heather. We're with you. We're with you. Nazi robots. Yeah. Well, we're in a new time. We might not feel comfortable with it yet, but someday the robots will probably be doing all the surgeries. Someday. Ready for the lotto of the day? Oh yeah. Let's get to it. Look at this guy. He's going state to state in his job as a trucker. And he manages to pick a winning ticket. He's a long-haul trucker from North Carolina. He was spending the night in Maryland And he he delivers in 9 states, by the way. He spent the night at a College Park motel on July 1st after making a delivery to Silver Spring, Maryland. And he went to a Wawa convenience store near the motel and bought a double win fast play ticket from a vending machine. It was a $50,000 winner. He said, I folded it, I put it in my pocket. There was no need to play anymore after that. Next day, he visited the lottery headquarters to collect his big old prize before he got back in the long haul truck and made his drive to North Carolina. So there you go. He said the prize money will allow him to replace the engine on his riding lawnmower, which he mows his 52 acres of grass with. He says, when I'm not driving a truck, I'm on the tractor. So there you go. He's got $50,000 to spruce up his riding lawnmower. It's another story about a message in a bottle, but this bottle got some real, I don't know, wave action behind it. It floated from Canada to Ireland. It took 13 years, but this bottle made it all the way to Ireland. It was launched by visitors to Newfoundland's Bell Island. The people in Ireland, 13 years after the bottle was thrown into the water, were walking along a Dingle Peninsula beach this week when this woman, her name is Kate, spotted the wine bottle with a sheet of paper inside. She said she showed the bottle to members of the Creative Ireland Nert na Marchai during a meeting at her house that evening, and they broke that bottle right open. The note had been written by a couple, Brad and Anita, in September of 2012, and it described their day trip to Bell Island. There was a phone number on the letter, but there was no answer when they tried to call it. The conservation group posted photos of the bottle to social media, and in an hour, members of the group were messaging with Anita. She said she and Brad married in 2016, and they are still together to this day. So there you go. Their message in a bottle makes them some new friends. How about some cheese? Anybody interested in the stinky cheese? It is likely the most expensive cheese in the world. This cheese sets a Guinness World Record for price. It is a Cabrales cheese aged in a cave for 10 months, and it got top marks in a competition in Spain, earning a Guinness World Record when it was auctioned off for, are you ready? $42,232. Not even kidding. $42,232. This cheese, created by the Angel Diaz Herrero Cheese Factory, was sold by the Regulatory Council DOP Cabrales in Asturias, Spain, and it was purchased by a restaurant called El Llagar de Coyoto. They say, the Guinness World Records judges, this is the most expensive cheese ever sold at auction. The best of the cheese of the best cheese of the competition is how it was marketed. It's a 5-pound round of cheese. It was made with cow's milk, aged for 10 months in the Los Mazos cave, 5,000 feet above sea level. And this restaurant really wanted it, to the tune of 42 grand and change. Crazy. If you had told me $232, I would have thought that was a lot. $42,232? That better be some really good cheese. Well, it did win the contest, so I wonder if it's gone already. How long that kind of cheese lasts. Isn't that a bummer when you put cheese in the fridge and you don't eat it fast enough and you can see the end gets moldy? You have to throw it out. Can you imagine having to throw out part of your $42,000 cheese? No, I might eat it anyway. I have a story for you. Another story about an auction. This is The largest Martian meteorite in the world that is heading to auction. It just looks like a regular rock, right? I mean, it's kind of cool. Here's a close up of it. It looks a little more spacey that way. Let me back out again. There it is. Gonna sell at auction. It was discovered in Niger in 2023. It weighs 54 pounds and it represents more than 6% of all Mars material on Earth. It's an important piece, no doubt. Hold on, cough break. Okay, sorry, I had to clear my throat. The meteorite is very rare, of course. It was discovered in Niger in 2023. It was a fragment that was found and it was sent to the Shanghai Astronomy Museum for analysis. It's about 70% bigger than the next largest known meteorite. Again, this one 54 pounds. So large that it represents more than 6% of all Martian material ever found on Earth. And it's really rare. It's one of about 400 known meteorites from Mars, which make up a small fraction of the more than 77,000 officially recognized meteorites. The chunk had to be loose enough to break off, and then it had to get on the right trajectory to travel 140 million miles to Earth, and then it had to land in a spot where someone could find it. And then they said we were lucky enough that someone came by who knew enough about meteorites to recognize that it wasn't just a big old rock. It is called a Shergotite meteorite. It's the most common type of meteorite from Mars. They think these fragments fell in India in 1865 and that they come from the volcanic regions of Mars. And they did a little little analysis on this meteorite. They think it was torpedoed from the Martian surface by an asteroid impact, a collision so powerful that it transformed about 20% of the minerals of this rock into a type of glass known as masculinite. Parts of the surface of this meteorite are covered in a glassy fusion crust, which likely formed as it careened through the Earth's atmosphere, generating high temperatures. Let's go back to the close-up. You can see how it's kind of smooth and glassy. It's true. Yeah. I believe the experts on this one. They say it's not clear exactly when this meteor landed on Earth, but based on the lack of visible weathering, they think it probably maybe fell somewhat recently. Yeah, I don't know. I said 1865 in India, and the scientists think these fragments are named after the Shergotite meteorite. That's the meteorite that fell in India in 1865. But this one they think fell recently. My apologies. But it is being called a once-in-a-generation find. And it's being auctioned off, sold to the highest bidder. Some people disappointed about this. They think instead it should be donated to a scientific institution or a museum instead of being auctioned off for the big, big money. One paleontologist from Scotland said, this will be a real shame if this meteorite disappears into the vault of some oligarch somewhere. But because it's already been analyzed and there's a reference sample being kept at a Chinese lab, they say it's not that big of a deal that it's going up for sale. And maybe whoever buys it will choose to donate the specimen or support future research on it. So we don't know. These meteorites are unique specimens that carry information about the history of the solar system that cannot be learned any other way. This from Paul Asamoah, who's a geologist at the California Institute of Technology. He said this is mitigated by the scale at which we can study meteorites, and a subsample is likely to contain all of the information that the whole stone contains. So the fact that they have a sample of it, he thinks, is sufficient. So, what do we think? How much do you think this meteorite will go for? Experts think it could go for as much as $4 million. $4 million for a space rock. It's not all they're auctioning off, though. They're also auctioning at Sotheby's a late Neolithic stone axe. And this one's kind of bothering me. The skeleton of a 150 million year old juvenile dinosaur. I don't think you should auction off skeletons or remains. An articulated Tyrannosaurus rex foot and other fossils as well. It's going to be an interesting auction. We'll have to follow up on that one. The auction is happening on, let's see, the 9th, July 9th. That's today. Oh no, July 16th. My apologies. It's Sotheby's Natural History Sale in New York on July 16th. So that's when they're auctioning that off. We'll see how it goes. It's cool looking, I'll give it that. All right, are you guys ready for it? Here it is. Ooh, Waterfall Wednesday. And after the politics of the day that we've had, we kind of need some Waterfall Wednesday. And the first one I will show you is a video. For this Waterfall Wednesday, we will be going to Los Angeles. We've looked at Bay Area waterfalls and Northern California waterfalls, but we haven't really gone to LA to check out the waterfalls there and see what's going on. So this is a beautiful waterfall. Look at this. Let's see if I can make it big. It's gorgeous. Look at that. You can see it moving. Little video there for you. Yeah. This is Escandido Falls, one of, apparently, the most hidden, best hidden, but well-known waterfalls in Los Angeles. It is in the scenic hills of Malibu. It's a popular destination for hikers, and it's a bit of a trek to get up in this area. You've got to jump through some lush landscapes and cross some streams before you get to this cascade called a refreshing retreat amid the urban landscape of Los Angeles. Again, Escandido. You take the Escandido Canyon Trail in Malibu. The trail distance about 3.5 miles. It's supposed to be easy, the trail, but you do have to, go through some streams and through some pretty lush vegetation. I think it's beautiful. I guess I'm just so happy to see video of a waterfall. Look at that. Waterfalling. You see that? Ah, that's so pretty. Love that. Love that the water is coming down over lawn overhanging or, vegetation that's overhanging and not just rocks. It's really different and cool. Yeah, love that. The next one for Waterfall Wednesday is Paradise Falls. This is so pretty as well. Ah, here it is. I have to share the video with you guys, or share the screen with you. Look at this, Paradise Falls. How beautiful is that? Wow. Paradise Falls, also in the Los Angeles area. And this one is one of the most tranquil waterfalls in the Los Angeles area. They call it a serene escape from the city's hustle and bustle. It's in the Wildwood Regional Park in Thousand Oaks. And it's just a short drive from downtown LA, although it's never a short drive in Los Angeles, right? Making this an ideal destination for people looking for a little getaway. And look at the pool it falls into. That's beautiful. Right in Thousand Oaks, of all places. Again, it's in the Wildwood Regional Park. The distance on the trail, 1.5 miles, easy to moderate. So there you have it. The next one is called Trail Canyon Falls. And it's also really, really beautiful. Look at this. Does this look like Los Angeles to you? Because I don't know if it looks like Los Angeles to me. Let's see if I can show this to you. Hold on. My apologies. I have to share another screen with you because I clicked on it and it opened up another window. But it's worth it because check this one out. Oh, is that the one we just saw? That's the one we just saw. My apologies. My bad. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll get this right. I swear I will. Is that the one we just saw? No, we're looking for this waterfall, which is called, we did Paradise Falls. This one is number 3 on the list. Oh, that's so pretty too. Okay. Here it is. I swear I'm going to get this right. Okay, now I'm in business. Here it is. Now we're cooking with fire. Look at this waterfall. It was worth it. It was all kinds of trouble to get here, but what is that? That's in Los Angeles? Yes, it is. This is located in the Angeles National Forest. It's a popular destination for folks looking to explore nature's beauty and discover cascading waters. That's us. One of the best waterfalls in Los Angeles, it provides the perfect opportunity to unwind and reconnect with the great outdoors. It is in Tujunga. The trail distance is 2 miles. It's a bit of a difficult type of hike. They call it moderate, but it's super pretty. Again, it's in the Angeles National Forest. The hike takes you through the forest. You get a look at scenic trails and gentle streams, eventually leading you to this Trail Canyon Falls. And that is beautiful. And then we have another beautiful one. And this one, it kind of looks twisty, but I'm sure it's just the way the picture was taken. It is a waterfall that they say starts with a roar and ends with a whisper. Let me show you a picture of this one as well. I couldn't save a lot of these because they're Instagram posts, the pictures, which means I have to share my screen. So please bear with me. But look at that. That's beautiful. This is Black Star Canyon. It's a challenging hike, no lie, but the scenery is stunning. It starts on a chill, flat path, and then it turns into a hike on a rocky stream bed to a hidden waterfall. There is poison oak in this area, they warn, so you'll have to be careful. But this is on Black Star Canyon Road in Silverado, California. That's beautiful. The next one is called the Grotto. And I love this one, if only because I just love a good waterfall video. So check this one out. This is the Grotto. We'll go back. Hello, you. Look at this. Ah, that's pretty nice. Let's do it again here. The Grotto is located in Malibu. It is an adventurous day trip to be taken. The trail starts with wide, easy paths, but there's some rocky scrambles that are necessary along a creek that leads to this secret waterfall nestled in a cave, as you can see here. It's off the Pacific Coast Highway near the end of Malibu. You look for the Neptune's Net restaurant, and it's right behind there, about 5 miles down the road. Again, it's called the Grotto, and I love that there's video of that amazing waterfall. Check that out as the water pours down. That's pretty cool. All right. Our next waterfall of the day in the Los Angeles area is called Hart Rock Falls. And this one is an easy hike. It is, they say, a waterfall that has amazing local views. It sure is pretty. It doesn't look like it's very big, but if I came across this, I think I would be rather pleased. Again, here's what it looks like. It's a pretty little waterfall. I think that would make my day. So again, this one is called Hart Rock Falls. It is in Crestline, California. It's only a half a mile hike. It's an easy hike, they call it, with one of the best waterfalls in Los Angeles, with amazing scenic views and a waterfall right at the end. Suitable for most fitness levels, a great option for families with kids and dogs. It's in the Burbank area at Wildwood Canyon Park, technically Crestline, California. The next one on the list is called Cooper Canyon Falls. Look at that. Yes, please. I'll take that waterfall. This is a moderate hike. The Cooper Canyon Falls Trail winds through canyons and greenery. It is in Pear Blossom, California, on the Pacific Crest National Scenic Trail. So it's a 2.5 mile trail run to get here, but it sure is a pretty waterfall. Look at that. How many am I seeing? 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 different mini waterfalls in one. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Cooper Canyon Falls. The next one is called Eaton Canyon Falls. Look at that. I'm going to zoom out on that one a little bit. That's so pretty. That's Eaton Canyon Falls. Wow. You can almost see the water going into the pool at the bottom. You can almost hear that. This is a popular, fairly easy waterfall hike near Los Angeles. Always draws a good crowd after a good rain. It is in Altadena, California. Might want to steer clear of there for a while as they rebuild that town. But the hike starts out flat and wide, perfect for just a leisurely stroll. And then as you progress, the trail transforms into a more adventurous single-track path that leads to this 40-foot tall, stunning waterfall. Again, called Eaton Canyon Falls. This next one is called Switzer Falls. It is in Tahunga, California as well. And here's what this looks like. Looks like the water, almost looks more like a water slide than waterfalls, doesn't it? As I zoom in. They say it would be challenging to locate a Southern California hike spanning less than 4 miles that rivals the attractions found on Switzer Falls Trail in the Angeles National Forest. A perfect spot for an adventurous day trip, but a bit of a workout as well. It's about 1.5 miles, but there's some challenging, apparently, climbing opportunities as you try to get up to this. Again, it's called the Switzer Falls, and it's off of the Switzer Trail, the Switzer Falls Trail, trying to get up to the falls. Beautiful. The next waterfall in the Los Angeles area is called it's a dam. It's called the Brown Mountain Dam. I don't know. I kind of go for the more natural waterfalls, but I'll show you this one. It's all right. I'll give you this one too. What do you think? Would you want to skip this one or would you want to go? It's kind of cool. There it is. Brown Mountain Dam in La Cañada Flint Ridge. The trail about 1.2 miles, 30 minutes by car from downtown Los Angeles. This Brown Mountain Dam Trail takes you through shaded canyons and old ruins, culminating with an 81-foot dam with a seasonal waterfall cascading down its face. You get a touch of history along the hike, and then a refreshing reward with the waterfall in La Cañada Flint Ridge. The next one is in Altadena as well. This one's called Millard Canyon Falls. And oh my, it's very pretty and very different looking. Check this one out. Sorry, I know it's clunky to have to share the screen every time, but I think it's worth it. Waterfalls are worth it, right? There you go. You can kind of see as I zoom out the overhang of the rocks and this waterfall tucked away in this area. Super pretty. Millard Canyon Falls, another must visit on the Los Angeles Waterfall Tour. It's an easy hike. It's a cascading 50-foot tall waterfall just outside the city. It's a hike that takes you along a pleasant canyon with a babbling creek that ends with this waterfall, a manageable walk for all ages. The Brown Mountain Waterfall, the Millard Canyon Falls, I should say. It's off of Brown Mountain Fire Road in Altadena. So that's pretty. This next one is called the Placerita Canyon Waterfall, and it's pretty nice looking as well. This waterfall, I should say, is in Newhall, California, and it's a 15-foot waterfall when it's flowing, but it's also seasonal. We'll take you now to Enz Falls in Murrieta, California. The rocks formations on this one are so pretty. Here's what it looks like. Sharing my screen. Look at this. That's cool, right? I think that's beautiful. Very interesting waterfall. It's kind of mesmerizing to watch that water come all the way down like that through it almost looks like chunks of bricks, but that's not the case here. So this waterfall is called the Placerita Canyon Waterfall Trail in, I'm sorry, this is the Enz Falls, my bad. It's in also Murrieta, California. It's very close to Los Angeles. They call it a total gem for hiking. Really worth the effort to get here. The hike takes you away from the city noise, but it doesn't take that long. It's a 1-mile hike up to this waterfall. Very easy hike, they say as well. And look at that. Super beautiful. The next one is called Enz Falls. It almost looks, when you go from this to this, it looks like you're in a whole different region, but you're not. Really cool. This one's in Palm Springs. You start from the visitor center and you ascend 350 feet to reach these falls. The trail here is rugged and steep with rock steps that require good balance and the ability to navigate steps as tall as 15 inches. There's minimal shade here, and it's really hot in Palm Springs. There's no water fountains, no restroom facilities, so you need to be prepared. It's a 1.8-mile hike, Enz Falls in Palm Springs. But look at that waterfall. So beautiful. Just wow. The next one is called Bonita Falls, and it is in San Bernardino. And here's what this looks like. Oh, hello. Hello, waterfall. That's beautiful. We'll take it. Bonita Falls. It's a set of waterfalls, as you can see here. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like at least. some smaller than others. It's in the San Bernardino National Forest. 3 tiers, they say, with additional cascades in the canyon above, including a 60-foot tall segmented waterfall and a 25-foot cascade. It has year-round flow, and it's an ideal destination from summer to winter. It's about a 1.5 mile hike. The difficulty is said to be moderate on this one. So, and then we have a waterfall in Rancho Cucamonga. The picture is failing me, but this one is Etowanda Falls, is what it's called. It at the Etowanda Preserve in Rancho Cucamonga. I can say that. A scenic hike near Los Angeles. The falls formed by convergence of 2 streams with a captivating cascade. Beautiful. This one may also be worth seeing. Apparently, this area is currently closed. It is the Monrovia Falls. And here's what it looks like. Can't get to it right now, but we'll keep it on the list. Oops, nope. We already saw that one. That's wrong. That's wrong. Here's the right one. I'm sorry. They're similar in appearance, you could say. There you go. Yeah, this is the Monrovia Canyon Falls in Monrovia, California. It's a 3/4 mile ascent through man-made dams, narrow paths beneath ancient trees, leading to a year-round falls at Monrovia Canyon Park in the San Gabriel Mountains. There's a water fountain and restrooms and all kinds of things to see at the Canyon Park Nature Center. Apparently, though, it's temporarily closed. Not sure what they're doing there, but for the time being, it is closed. And we'll end it with this one. This is the Santa Ynez Falls. This is a pretty beautiful one as well. Let's see if I can show you this one. Here we go. That's pretty nice. Santa Ynez. Yeah. Santa Ynez Falls in Topanga, California. It's a 2.5 mile round trip hike on the Santa Ynez Waterfall Trail in Topanga State Park in the Pacific Palisades. The trail runs alongside a lush creek, is shaded, and then it ends in this scenic gorge. They say it's beautiful. The hike is easy to moderate. And it again is in Topanga State Park in Topanga, California. Do I have one more for you? Sure, why not? This is more like, I don't know. It is a waterfall. I'll give it that. And it almost looks more like a babbling brook instead of a waterfall. But it's peaceful and calming. And so perhaps this is how we end the Los Angeles waterfall tour. It's beautiful, right? It just looks more like a babbling brook scene than a massive waterfall. It is, though, called Solstice Canyon, and it's a 30-foot waterfall, they say, in Solstice Canyon, about 100 yards past something called the Roberts House, which is also called the Tropical Terrace. It flows, it's a variety. It goes from a gentle trickle to a powerful gush, depending on when it last rained. It's a 3.5 mile hike in the Santa Monica Mountains with a beautiful, breathtaking view of the Pacific Ocean in the distance. The location, technically Malibu, California, and the trail distance is about 2.3 miles. So we end it with Solstice Canyon and so many wonderful waterfalls in the Los Angeles area that I don't think we'd explored yet, right here in at least my own state. So hope you enjoyed the waterfalls of Southern California. And that, my friends, is Waterfall Wednesday. There you go. All right. Well, I have kept you long enough. We're almost at an hour, and I know you all have things to do. Maybe I can make a movie list. There's a lot of movies that sound good. Oh, Susan, thank you. And thank you for the nice words. I appreciate. Luis says, I've seen more than half of these falls. Yay, Luis. I should have had you on as a guest. You could have told me about your experiences. Be Aware says, definitely learned some new waterfalls. Awesome. I'm so glad. This pleases me greatly. All right, everybody. Well, have a great rest of your day. Please join me and Mark Thompson and Albert and David Katz tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show starting at 11 a.m. We'll talk about all things legal. And I want to ask David Katz, would it be legal for Trump to take over Washington, D.C.? Would it be legal for him to take over New York City? I know we don't talk politics on this show, but I'll ask David Katz tomorrow on Mark's show and we'll find out. But for now, revel in the fact that there's beauty in the world and waterfalls and loveliness and that not everything is bad. That's the whole point of Waterfall Wednesday. But thank you again, everybody, for all of the lovely contributions to the show and for the messages and everything else. I hope you make it a really great rest of your day, and I will see you hopefully right back here tomorrow on the After Party Live. All right. Have a good day, and
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
I'm sure she loved that. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to write them all down. And thank you guys for the suggestion.